What's going on, guys? Jesse here. Welcome back to my channel, and tonight will be another video of Aew Dynamite. Very good. Last night already. Last night already, but yeah. Anyways, let's get to it. No more talking, and here we go. All right. So a video package from Samoa Joe versus Hook for the AEW World Championship airs, and then we shoot inside the arena, where Excalibur. What comes us to the show, we see Samoa Joe and Hook arriving to the building. Alright, the first match, Christian Cage, the TNT champion versus Dustin Rhodes. The theme for Christian Cage hits, and out he comes, accompanied by Nick Wayne and Killswitch for his latest defense of the TNT Championship and our opening contest, which is our first of 3 title matches scheduled for tonight's show. After he settles in the ring, his music dies down, and then the theme for his opponent hits. Out comes Dustin Rhodes to a big pop from the crowd. He settles in the ring, and his music dies down. The bell sounds, and we're officially off and running with this one. Cage controls the defense early, taking it to Dustin with strikes. However, the Natural catches the TNT champion coming off the ropes with a snap body slam to shift the momentum in his favor. The fight spills out to the floor, where Dustin slams Christian face first into the announce desk, and he then sends him into the steel steps so hard that he went flying over them like Mankind in his WWE prime. Dustin stays on Cage and brings the action back into the ring. Dustin climbs up on Christian for punches in the corner, but Cage slams Dustin face first to the ring post. This sends Dustin out to the floor. Cage leaps off the top rope over the top row of the ring post from inside the ring to splash onto Rhodes on the floor at ringside. On that note, we shift gears and head into a mid-match commercial break as the action in our opening title tilt continues. When we return, we see Dustin fighting back, only to be sent to the floor with authority by the champ. Back in the ring, Dustin begins fighting back. Rhodes gets Cage's legs up on the ropes in the corner for the natural kick, Shattered Dreams. But Cage escapes before he can connect. Cage takes over. It doesn't and chokes Dustin on the middle rope as the fans loudly boo and then try and rally behind Dustin with chants. We see Cage sent to the floor, and then Dustin goes for a dive through the ropes, but Cage catches him coming out with the big shot. He whiplashes him off the ropes after that, and then climbs to the top rope for a big frog splash. He goes for the cover, but Dustin kicks out after the count of 2. As the action continues, Dustin rolls Cage up in a tight cradle, but the referee is distracted while the ref is tied up. Nick Wayne hits the ring and rolls them so that Cage has Dustin in a cradle pin attempt. The ref turns around and begins counting, but Dustin kicks out again to keep this one going. Dustin gets Cage's legs on the ropes again, and this time he connects with the natural kick. Dustin follows that up with a superplex off the ropes, and then across Rhodes for a close near fall attempt. Killswitch and Nick Wayne get involved again, leading to Dustin hitting Nick with a destroyer on the floor. Back in the ring, Dustin walks into a spear from Cage, who follows up with his Killswitch finisher. He goes for the cover, but again, Dustin kicks out. He hits a second Killswitch. It gets the win to retain the title. An excellent opener. So yeah, Christian Cage is still the TNT champion. So yeah, he retained it. Alright, backstage, Renee Paquette is standing by with Swerve Strickland. She asks him if he'll have eyes on tonight's AEW World Championship main event between Samoa Joe and Hook. He says he'll talk about coming out of the Continental Classic as the most talked about performer. She asks him about Hangman Page. He says once again he's got eyes everywhere. He calls Heyman an impeccable I hope I said that right. Performer, and lists some of his recent accomplishments. As good as he is, he couldn't beat Swerve. He says he's been beating him twice before. Whose house? Swerve's house. He walks off, and we head to break. When we return, Chris Jericho is being interviewed backstage and is upset about the loss to Ricky Starks and Big Bill for the AEW World Tag Team Championships and the recent street fight. And comes Matt Sydal, who tells Jericho he needs to take his frustrations out by getting back in the ring. He suggests himself as an opponent. The match is made for this coming Friday night's episode of AEW Rampage, which they filmed already. Alright, second match, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta versus Commander and Penta El Zero Mil. Back inside the arena, the theme for Orange Cassidy hits, and out he comes with fellow best friends and member Trent Beretta for our next match of the evening. They settle inside the ring, and the theme for their opponents hits. Out comes Commander and Penta El Zero Mil, accompanied by Alex Abrahantes. The bell sounds are officially running with this one. The AEW International Champion Orange Cassidy and Penta El Zero Mil kicks off for their respective teams. The fans break out in dueling chants for both guys before they even touch. We see Cassidy do his usual wimpy kick routine and dramatic hands up and back down in the pockets routine. Penta has some fun of his own with some goofing around and comedy spots, but then these two get after it, and the pace picks up quickly. After a couple of big high spots, we head into a mid-match commercial break. When we return from the break, we see Commander hit a big spot that sends Trent out to the floor. He is screwed up by Cassidy, which brings up to the mat. Cassidy hits a big spot, but then Commander tags out. Penta comes in and hits a sling blade on Orange. Alright. Trent comes in but is hit by a thrust kick. Penta hits Made in Japan for a clothespin attempt. We see a big fear factor spot from Penta for another close near fall. Commander hits a wild spot off the top rope, but Cassidy breaks up the subsequent pin attempt to keep his team alive. Cassidy hits a beach break to shift the momentum in his team's favor. He follows up with a big orange punch. Trent hits the finisher after that and gets the pin on Commander for the win. Another good match here on Dynamite. So yeah, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta won the tag team match. Alright. After the match, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta are celebrating their victory when they go to give the people what they want, a best friends hug, only to be interrupted. The theme for the Undisputed Kingdom hits, and out comes Mike Bennett, Matt Taven, whatever, and Roderick Strong. Chuck Taylor slides in on behalf of Cassidy and Trent. With the six men staring each other down, Strong says he came out here to say something to Cassidy's face. He tells him to take his sunglasses off and look him in the eyes. Strong tells Cassidy, defending champ who wasted his time in a tag team match time. He asks if it's becoming too much and questions if he has enough in the tank to hold onto a title that belongs to him. Cassidy is willing to fight now, but Strong says they will battle for the belt at AEW Revolution 2024, which is March 3rd. Renee Paquette is backstage with Hangman Page. After that wraps up, Page talks about his busy 2024 already and says he's set on recapturing the AEW World Championship before all is said and done. Paquette mentions how Swerve Strickland and said Page couldn't beat him earlier tonight. Page says it doesn't matter because he isn't the champ. Samoa Joe is. He says maybe it will be Hook. He's ready for either of them. After Mark Briscoe comes out with Jay Briscoe's family to honor him on the 1 year anniversary of his ultimately tragic passing after a car accident, we shoot to a touching video package for him and then head to another commercial break. Man, that was so sad. 1 year ago already. Can't believe it, man. Time went too fast, and it's crazy. When we return, Renee Paquette is seen down with the Young Bucks. Nick and Matt Jackson start off by insisting that they should respect and call them by their full given names, Nicholas and Matthew. They remind her they are EVPs and ask if she got a check this week. You're welcome, they said. From excuse me. From there, they go on to talk about Sting and how they do respect him, but how they are ready to be the ones to say goodbye to Sting and everybody like him, so that AEW can be what it was supposed to be, the new and best in pro wrestling. Alright, third match. ROH 6-man tag team championships, Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony, who are the champions, versus Bullet Club Gold. Back inside the arena, the Bullet Club Gold theme hits, and out comes Switchblade, Switchblade, Jay White, and the Guns. Austin and Colton Gunn for their big title opportunity. They settle into the ring, and their music dies down. The theme for the reigning and defending ROH 6-man tag team champions plays. Out comes the trio of the Machine, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony, Tua Leona, and Bishop Khan. They settle in the ring, and their music dies down. The bell sounds, and we're officially off and running with our second of 3 scheduled title tilts this evening on Aew Dynamite. The bell sounds, and out comes Jay White and Toa Leona to kick things off for their respective teams. After the Gates of Agony duo hit some double team, we see them settle into the offensive lead. We head into a mid-match commercial break. On that note, as the battle continues, Prince Nana trips up White as it looked like he was about to finish this one off. This allows Khan to hit a high spot for a super close near fall attempt. Anthony Bowens ends up coming out to even up the numbers game, and White hits a Blade Runner afterwards for the win. We have a new ROH 6-man tag team champions. The winners are a new ROH 6-man tag team champions, Bullet Club Gold. So yeah. Alright, we shoot backstage to the interview zone, and where Namco and Wardlow are standing by. Cole talks about it's scary that Wardlow hasn't even scratched the surface of what he is capable of yet. He vows that Wardlow will continue to decimate opponent after opponent until the AEW World Championship is all that is left. And then it's coming to the Undisputed Kingdom. We head to another commercial break after this wraps up. Alright, the other match is Deonna Purrazzo versus Anna Jay. When we return from the break, the theme for Timeless Toni Storm hits, and out comes the AEW Women's Champion. She sells in on special guest commentary for our next match of the evening. With that in mind, Deonna Purrazzo's theme hits, and out comes the Virtuosa. Purrazzo settles in the ring, and her music dies down. The theme for Anna Jay hits next, and out she comes. The bell sounds, and we're officially off and running with this one. Anna Jay gets a solid early start on Purrazzo as the commentators talk to Star about Purrazzo. Purrazzo fights back and starts to take over. As she does, we shift gears and head to a mid-match commercial break. As the action continues during the mid-match picture-in-picture break, Timeless Toni Storm puts her old-school silent film actress skills on display. After we return from the break, Purrazzo fights back into the offensive lead and picks up the win via submission. After the match, Renee Paquette interviews Purrazzo in the ring. She addresses Toni Storm and talks about how they used to be as close as sisters. She says Storm knew the old her but not the best women's technical wrestler in the world that she is today. Storm gets on Luther's shoulders and talks about her claims of being the technical wrestler. She closes with her tits out and watch for the shoe line before launching her shoes at Prasu. We head to another commercial break. Alright. Private Party versus Top Flight. When we return and the theme for Private Party hits, and out comes Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy for their first tag team match on the AEW TV in 13 and a half months. Damn. Which Excalibur points out on the broadcast as they settle into the square circle. Their music dies down and the theme for their opponents hits. Out comes the Top Flight duo of Darius Martin and Dante Martin. The two make their way to the ring as the commentary trio of Excalibur, Taz, and Ian Riccaboni sing their praises. They settle in the ring, and the bell sounds to get this one officially off and running. Darius Martin and Isaiah Cassidy kick things off for their respective teams. The crowd breaks out into dueling chance for both teams. We see some big high flying moves from both teams, and then we settle into a mid-match commercial break as a high flyers dream bout count continues. As we settle back in from the break, we see Top Flight dominating the offense with Darius taking it to Cassidy. Dante tags in and picks up where he left off, taking it to the Private Party member who desperately needs to make the tag. We see the tag and then a couple of high spots to the floor. We see a big 450 splash, but it's not enough to put away Dante. Things pick up a bit and then we work our way to the finish, which sees Private Party hit their Jin and Juice double team finisher on the follow-up pin attempt. Private Party holds the ropes to get the 3 count for the win. So Private Party won the match. Alright. We shoot to a video package with Darby Allin talking about how he and Sting have been undefeated as a tag team and how when things are all said and done, Sting will retire with the two as AEW World Champions. Alright. So now it's finally main event time for the AEW World Championship. Samoa Joe, who is the champion, versus Hook. Alright, so during this match, there was no commercial break or nothing. It was commercial free for only this match, and that was it. So here we go. Alright, main event time. The theme for Hook hits, and as we hear the familiar sounds of Action Bronson, the cold-hearted, handsome devil makes his way out. The FTW heads to the ring as Taz sings his praises as you would expect. He huddles over in the corner like he does for every match, and Taz talks about how this is just another fight for him, too. His theme dies down and the loud Joe chants break out from the crowd, and before the chants music even hits, the theme for Samoa Joe does hit and the chants pick up. Out comes the reigning and defending AEW World Champion for his title defense since capturing the gold from MJF at AEW World's End 2023. He settles in the ring and raises his title high in the air as the crowd comes to a war once again. Alright, we hear the Dapper Yapper Justin Roberts handle the final formal pre-match, bringing introductions for this commercial-free championship contest. The bell sounds and we're officially off and running with our final match of the evening here on this week's AEW Dynamite. Samoa Joe dominates from the word go, dominating the FTW champion with relative ease. Hook starts to get in some offense after a couple of minutes and even has the champ crawling on his hands and knees, which the commentators point out. Joe fights back and the action spills out to the floor once again. Once the fight hits the ringside area on the floor, Joe hits a power bomb on Hook, Then that puts him through the announce table. Joe shouts at him and asks if he understands yet. Hook then finally pops up from his bag with a double middle finger for the champ. Joe picks up and power bombs him on the hard part of the ring apron from the floor. The action is stopped briefly, and the ref checks on the neck of Hook. Back in the ring, the Joe continues to beat down Hook from one side of the ring to the other. He hits another big powerbomb and goes for the cover, but Hook kicks out at 2. Joe puts Hook on the ropes in the corner and hoists him up for his finisher. He hits his muscle buster finisher and covers him, but this time Hook kicks out at 1. Hook hits the ropes and starts blasting Joe with the clotheslines as the crowd comes to life. Hook hits a huge T-bone suplex on the much larger Joe for a huge roar from the crowd. Hook looks for the red round finisher, but Joe blocks it and counters with his own near naked choke submission finisher. Hook doesn't tap out, but he passes out. Joe retains. Joe goes to leave afterwards, but a defiant Hook gets up and yells at Joe, "Is that all you got?" Joe comes back and hits him with another muscle buster. He goes to leave, but Hook crawls back to his feet. As refs and trainers check on him, again yells at Joe for more. This time, when Joe goes to return to the ring to deliver more punishment to Hook, the theme for him and Paige hits, and how he comes to the ring to keep Joe from returning to deliver more punishment. As Joe is backing up the ramp, we see Swerve Strickland come up, and Joe notices he and Heyman Page staring at him down. Heyman helps Hook up. Fans chant, "Whose house?" "Swerve's house." Heyman turns and stares at Swerve outside the ring. Swerve throws up 2 fingers and walks off with Prince Nana. So yeah, winner is still Samoa Joe won the match and still AEW World Champion Samoa Joe. So yeah, he won the match. So anyways, that was a good show and stuff, and there was a couple of bleeps and stuff when the Young Guns did the suck it part. They bleeped it out, and Taz said shit, and they bleeped that out, which is so stupid. AW needs to stop bleeping stuff out, alright? I hate that shit, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, that was it for this video, and it was good and stuff, and so yeah, I'll see you all on Friday, very late, or Saturday morning, very late. So anyways, that was it, and I'll see you all in the next video. Laters.